Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible. I was joking, sent you an email last night that we're going to have to hire an assistant to get through this amount of leads. I just don't think that we expected it to perform that quickly. They started rolling in, and at first I had reached out to you and said, hey, is there a way that we can capture these so that as they're coming in, and I didn't realize what I was asking for at that time, but then my email box is just blowing up with all with all these leads that are coming in.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ken Collins from Ken Collins Marketing. I've got Brandon Ryan on the line with me, and we're just running some Facebook ad campaigns for him, and doing this as a test. And he's my guinea pig, and unlike other guinea pigs, I think he's pretty happy about being a guinea pig right now. So I'm going to turn this over to Brandon and ask you a couple questions. Hey, Brandon, just tell us a little bit about tell us who you are and a little about what you do and where you're at.
My name's Brandon Ryan. I'm a realtor here in Farmington in the San Juan County area. I work for under the banner of Keller Williams, but more specifically, I own Farmington Home Finder LLC and FarmingtonHomefinder.com as a buyers and seller service here in the San Juan County area. Born and raised here in Farmington for the most part, and have just come back in the last 2.5 years to practice real estate here in Farmington full time. Always kind of looking for new ways to expand the business as far as, especially from a technological perspective. It was good to be able to meet up with you and kind of toss around some ideas. And you're exactly right. It's been fun being the guinea pig on something like this that has really produced some pretty outstanding results right off the bat for us. So
awesome. We're going to get into those, but in the meantime, can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing prior to this, and kind of what's working, what's not working for you? Some things around that.
Outside of just normal everyday referrals and lead generation based through everyday contacts, the majority of what Farmington Home Finder does from a real estate perspective is online and web-based lead generation, and then more specifically AdWords through Google. Typically, we're looking at around 1 to 2 leads on a daily basis. Just on average, 30 to 40 leads per month is around what our volume is right now that we're working off of the website. And I would say about 70% of our business comes from that output on the site. Has been working really consistently for us. A lot of that is just following up in a timely manner with the leads and getting back with them, helping them through the process of pre-qualification and that sort of thing. That's been really consistent for us since we came on board with Keller Williams. That's really been helping us to think outside the box a little bit more with that piece. And we delved into the Facebook space a little bit, and even recently hired a Facebook advertising company to help us more with our posts, the posts that Farmington Home Finder puts on its Facebook site and different things along those lines. We've delved into that space a little bit. To be honest, that's been a difficult sphere for us to get into, I guess, to an extent, and kind of what our lead capture looks like in that space. It's kind of scary for us to enter into that realm. It's just kind of more of a dynamic platform than what we're using right now with our website and with lead platform. Yeah, so that's why it's been very exciting to have someone like you that's developed something, definitely knows a lot more about that sphere than we do.
Cool. So right now, with the other things you're doing, you're getting consistently 30, 40 leads a month. So at least one a day, right?
Yep.
On your other thing. So that's yep. Cool. So that does help out. So along comes me, and I've got a different idea, and I want to use you as a guinea pig. Basically, this is what we did. We put together a Facebook ad campaign for you and launched that about 5 or 6 o'clock Saturday evening. since Saturday evening, this is now Tuesday. So Sunday evening, about 24 hours later, we had about 20 leads, 21 leads. So almost 1 hour. By 6 o'clock last night, Monday, we had 48 leads. So 48 leads in 48 hours. That was about 1 hour. So we kind of matched what you would normally get in a month and a day. What did that do? What did that do to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been incredible. I was joking, sent you an email last night that we're going to have to hire an assistant to get through this amount of leads. I just don't think that we expected it to perform that quickly. They started rolling in, and at first I had reached out to you and said, hey, is there a way that we can capture these so that as they're coming in, and I didn't realize what I was asking for at that time, but then my email box is just blowing up with all these leads that are coming in. What was really cool is to provide the information. So where I think this platform, and obviously we're developing this out, but where I think it's really helpful from a realtor's perspective is, for me, I'm bringing value on two fronts. The first of those is to my client that is selling the home. So I've provided this home to you, pictures, description of the home, those types of things to, and you put together a beautiful ad for that, as well as a brochure to give people specific information on that home. So I'm lead generating first and foremost for that seller, which has potentially a lot of value for me to bring a buyer for that specific property. But then in addition to that, it gives me this great pool in a really short amount of time. I mean, the volume is to be honest, unbelievable to have that many leads in that short a period of time, but it gives me a great buyer pool. So it's going to be very similar, I think, to what I found on that. Some of those are going to pan out. Others may not pan out, but they're at least people who are saying, hey, I'm in the market for a home. Here's something that came up that's a dream home. I really want to take a look at this, get more details about it, whatever that is. And that gives us a really good venue by which we can reach out as Farmington Home Finder and say, hey, we took interest in this place. Thank you for providing your information. Are you interested in this property first and foremost? But then is there anything else that we can help you with if this isn't a match for you? It brings a ton of value. And one of the things I wanted to mention to you today, Ken, as well, that we hadn't talked about before, that I found, is that our capture on the action that we're getting from the client or the potential client, or the lead itself, I'm finding the information is more accurate. I haven't run the exact percentages, but as far as like the phone number, email address, and name of the person, it's been a lot more consistent to accurate information. So what we find a lot of times on our AdWords, a fair percentage of the lead generation that we get off of AdWords, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the phone. Johnny Cash is the name of that person. And so I feel like we're getting a lot more accurate information, if that makes sense. We had a couple of those that popped up out of our 50 leads that we've received.
I think the difference on that is just the targeting that we're using. So these are highly targeted. It's actually why they're coming in so fast is we targeted an audience that would be actually the most appropriate audience to get you. They're most likely to buy a house right now, based on several things. Most likely to move, most likely to have just been approved for a mortgage, that sort of thing. So that's who's being targeted in this little area where both of us here are in Farmington, New Mexico. In this area, within 25 miles of Farmington, Aztec, Bloomfield is the target audience. There's about 20,000 people that hit that really specific target market. And so instead of just some looky-loos or just people looking to find out what a system is doing and how this system is working and that sort of thing, and giving you Johnny Cash and as a name and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as a number, they're more likely people that are interested in something. Maybe not that house. It might not fit in their range, the house that we're dialed in on for this campaign, but they're looking at something. They're in the market probably for a home, and so they're going to give some information in order to get back what they're looking for, right? Absolutely. So that's kind of how this thing is put together. We, like you mentioned, we built a brochure for you. So in order for them to get the brochure, if they really want that brochure, they're going to need to give the right information so that they can get that brochure.
Absolutely.
So cool. So do you think that this is going to lead to the sale of this house that we chose for this campaign?
I think that there is a great potential that it could. Out of the leads that have come in, I've had someone specifically reach out to me via email regarding the home and kind of what terms would be acceptable to the seller, those sorts of things. It hasn't resulted in a showing as of this point, but obviously I'm going to be working that lead. I think it has a great opportunity at least to produce some showings as well as some interest from that end, if not an offer and a sale. So I think it's a great opportunity there. If not that, I am very confident that there's a lot of potential for a buyer for another home out of what we're looking at. So, even if you looked at a very low conservative conversion rate of say 5%, that's gonna produce a minimum of a sale, right? In a 40 time, I'll take those numbers. Anything that you could produce even one sale, especially in this category. So we're talking kind of the 350 range from a realtor's perspective, a buyer in that range doing an ad campaign to this very worth, I think, the ad spend as well as the service in general. So it's been a really cool, it's been a fun experience being the guinea pig on it. And I'm definitely looking forward to checking in. Hopefully we can check in on a weekly basis to kind of see more specifically what kind of conversion percentage we're getting out of our contact with the leads and kind of what shakes out from that. But so some of that is to be determined. We are very, very pleased with what we've seen and the results that we've seen out of this.
Yeah, we're almost 3 days in, not quite as if you're counting the hours. So almost 3 days in, and we're at about 60 now. So 60 leads.
That's 2 months worth of leads for me to go through in the next couple of days.
Right, 2 months worth in 3 days. That's awesome. So I think that amounts to about 78 cents per lead. Basically, you spend about 78, 80 cents. And you're getting another lead on a house, an interested lead, interested in something. You mentioned that you might be able to sell other houses as well through this list of leads.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'll have to get you a number, but I think we're somewhere in the range typically of about $5 to $7 per lead is typically what we average on our current platform. So just to kind of put in perspective how powerful what you just said is to pay three quarters for a lead versus $5 to $7. I think that's all that out. And then from that, I think we've got a little bit of work to do on our end on the back end piece in kind of making sure that we've got good systems in place to consistently follow up. There's no magic pill for this. There's a lot of work behind getting into contact and then consistently following up, getting the lead pre-qualified and some of those things. But I absolutely think that out of this pool of potential buyers, we're going to be able to pull. Truthfully, my goal would be upwards of 3 to 5 really good qualified buyers that we would take from the pool that we have so far. So at 60, I would expect at least that much, 3 to 5 buyers out of that we could do something with. And so that's pretty incredible. 3 to 5 buyers, even on our average purchase price of $200,000 a buyer, really translates for us into, potential of $15,000 in gross commission revenue. And so that's pretty powerful stuff. That's all speculation at this point, but it's exciting to think about the prospect of what that could potentially bring. So
that's awesome, man. So what do you think? Is this worth worth the cost to do a campaign like this?
Yeah, I absolutely think it is. I think it's, I mean, you've been great through the process as far as handling, me being able to send you the information that I've obtained as a portion of the listing for you to put together the brochure. That wasn't, until you just said that a little bit earlier, that wasn't on the brochure piece. And the kind of the beauty behind that is exactly like you're saying, they're having to enter in specific, on a website. As an example, someone goes out onto a website, they know that they can enter in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the Johnny Cash example, and the computer isn't going to know any different, right? It's going to let them view homes the same as if they entered in other information. Well, if there's something specifically that this same buyer's lead wants to get, then they want to enter in so that they can get that. So I think you creating that definitely creates a lot of value, kind of your knowledge and expertise around what the audiences are and how to target on that end. I mean, I definitely think that it's worth it. The value proposition for us has already been great, even just from an exposure perspective. We've been, I think, in addition to what we've gained on the lead side of things, we've also had a ton of exposure just on the website in general. We've consistently been getting 3 to 5 additional page likes per day, which just expands our base of kind of general followers to the website and as well. So short answer, yes, I think it's worth the spend for sure. So.
That's awesome. Yeah, there is that kind of, I call it collateral benefit, where we're not running an ad to increase your page likes, but because it's attached to your page, you're just going to, by virtue of what Facebook is and how it works, you're going to get some kind of collateral benefit out of that. So yeah, no, you're growing your audience as well. So your other efforts that you already have in place to grow and nurture that audience, that's just going to add to your efforts there. So awesome.
Absolutely.
So okay, so one last question. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. If there were someone out there on the fence about moving forward with something like this, what would you tell them?
I think I would just say you've really got to. I think we're in an age of technology, and I think we're in an age of pushing the boundaries, especially in a small community like San Juan County, like Farmington, where there's a lot of space in our market for realtors and other professionals who are looking to expand their business in a technological sphere. And at least what I have found through what we have already done, and specifically through this process, is that no reward without the risk. And I think that up until this point, we wouldn't even bat an eye at putting a huge N in the newspaper, as an example, with my smiling face that says, come and buy a house from me today. And I think that we've really got to shift our way of thinking. And that's what I would encourage someone on the fence is, where are you really spending ad dollars, and are you ad dollars? So how do you track? What are you getting from what you're currently spending on advertising dollars? Put that up against what we're talking about here, and really make a determination if this amount of risk is really worth it. And I think that you'll find that it does.
I completely agree. In fact, I think that's how we got in touch anyway, was just kind of some shared thoughts on how that sort of thing works, where we are in a different world. It's not a changing world. The world is already changed. That change is over with, and
Yep.
We're already in that world. So yeah, comparing a newspaper ad and the expense of that, one that would actually bring you some sort of a result is going to be pretty expensive. And I don't think I've ever seen one that's going to get you 60 leads in 3 days after running your newspaper ad.
Yep.
It's just not possible. No. So yeah, we're already in that world, and it's awesome that you're embracing it, man. And thank you for being my guinea pig and whatnot. So we think you want to do this again sometime.
definitely want to do it again. I've got some serious work to do on my end. I've got some. You didn't tell me when we started this process that you were going to give me. So much homework and so much to do, probably for the next 2 weeks straight of my life here. But that being said, yeah, absolutely. What we really want to do is continue to develop it, continue to work with you on, putting the right systems in place and that sort of thing. But that's definitely, in our future, we want to do something like this again. And we just appreciate you giving us the opportunity, and thanks for letting us talk today.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. And like I said, thanks for being the guinea pig. And we're not done yet, baby. We're only 3 days in. So
that's it, Ken. Hey, I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Have a good one.